I'm just going to read three pieces. The first of which is not mine. It's by a friend of mine, Miriam Bird Greenberg, who is a writer I hope people get to know. She's younger than I, as almost everybody is. And she's just a terrific writer. This is from a book that was out from 16 Rivers Press, a chapbook. But she has a more recent one out from Pitt. And she's great. It's called Love Poem. The look some men have in the early morning, light slanting through the window, as if they've been born in a volcano where the boys metamorphose during puberty into birds. There's so much to surmise about rites of passage, but in the end, even the ones who brought back rabbits from nights beyond the brim and rinsed their bloodied hands in the kitchen mop buckets wished to shrug off their bird bodies as soon as they could. Their mothers learned to speak bird. Only a little magic was necessary. You could buy tongues harvested from starlings in a war-ridden country. A mother must speak to her son somehow. There are ways of making violence into an offering. All women grow into knowing this. Bodies verbs in the noun-filled fields of pumice rock specked with obsidian, and the air wild until dusk, tall grass rustling with voles and rabbits. Overhead, raptors circle in the cool air, and what can I do but feel my own skin set around me as if it were fur? No, I mean when the fireflies first appear, we'll want to paste their luminescent bodies on our skin like jewel-lit fish living in deep ocean trenches. Like the fish will want to devour smaller fish, or the wolf smelling carefully every current of air, the thief sharpening a penknife idly beneath a tree before nightfall, each regarding the object of his affection gently. The caress a butcher gives the goat, the steady, swift blade that follows. That's Miriam Bird Greenberg, dear pal. And I'll read two prose poems from this new anthology, Dreaming Awake. It's contemporary prose poems from the United States and Australia and UK. And it's put out by Mark's Mad Hat Press. It's a fantastic anthology. And also these two poems that I'm reading are in a recent book of mine from Hanging Loose. Thank you. If I can find my poems. Where are they? Fleming. Oh, here it is. At the Visitor Center. The river came through here once, and when it left, it was steam. Bad ears, that river. Thought our oxbow promised stream, didn't know our shores so sharp they sometimes carve the consonants away. What did it expect, that river? This is a land of shattered bottles, slivered glass for sand. You ask if all our men have artificial legs, if every door is a mirror, every woman named Conundra. There is our hotel, stay a while, see. What's a while? Time here, it's measured in vials meted out by a 5-year-old child. And of your other questions, do all our stinging nettles sing as they sting? Our wasps whisper their scent for flesh? All our birds rat-tat-tat on metal all day? Stay. Nothing dystopic about us here, don't worry. Not a pickpocket in the place. So what if we have no pockets, our head comedian says. Though we live in glass houses, we have no stones. It's true that we were prairie once, that switchgrass grew, but that was before the mountains moved in with their suitcases of white and green, the deer armed with 22s poured out of the 4 o'clock train. And for you today, special. We've opened our vaults of secrets. For in secrets we find happiness, and there's no end to our secrets. They're like money, we just make more. Here's one. Y'all have terrible taste, the tour guide shouted at us once. So to gratify his group, we gathered in this public square, cut out our tongues. What a dumb thing to do, they said. So in chorus we said, who's going to give you directions out of town now, mute ones? But it didn't sound so good, all vowel and pain, and they fled in horror, and we laughed. The old tongue tucked down the throat trick, catch-a-pack-a trick. That's the kind of fun we have here with our armed deer, sun setting through the steam of our spent river, our women's triple-calloused feet strolling the strands of slivered glass, lovers spreading copper blankets for picnics. Sister, they called him, and it's too complicated to get into here. Let's just say that it had to do with this family of 16, 5 parents, Wyoming, the 60s, shared clothes, few shoes, 1 bureau of drawers to serve 13 kids less than 9 months apart, competition, frantic hands in those drawers, 5 parents in the stone-strewn field all day, field that yielded nothing, desiccated carrots, cabbages like cardboard, those same parents giving each child a name as was legal. After number 7, though, papers filled out, never turned in. 6.5, they called the one buried near the failed kale. Not notated, the father decreed. No need. Should have fed it to the others. No laughter from the women. And sister, not quite the youngest, not clear who was the youngest. Him, not ever informed what underwear to wear, what shirts, if any were left. And anyway, this was just about the time the parents, our parents they called them, though one of the kids, an older girl, once joked that father parent should be called faster, get it over. That's what the mother parents called him up there in the room. But only a few knew that was a joke, and the boy didn't, that's for sure. And anyway, his random clothes period, lasted 9 years, was around the time the parents stopped calling them any names at all, just hollered brother or sister. Suster, one of the mothers pronounced it. And because of what he often ended up wearing, they called him sister. But there was one girl, the one who joked the faster get it over thing, who whispered to him one day, "You're not sister, sister, you're brother, and don't forget that." But that one, she walked out of the house the night father parent said, "Come upstairs, I want to teach you fealty." And she went upstairs and learned fealty. And then just before the sun came up, sister sat up in the middle of the floor blankets and snorers and saw her go to the drawers, pull out some things, and not put on shoes but carry shoes, and she was gone. Sister never saw her again, and I'm sorry, I just can't get into all the history of this sister thing and why he kept that name even after the authorities came in their blue vans. And by the time sister was in the group home, by the time he was as old as the girl who left, they said, "We want to give you a name. What about Cody? What about Cheyenne? What about Orrin?" But sister, he kept saying, sister, so they gave him sister. And of course, that part is just part of it, not the before part about the father horsewhip or the mother shotguns, them taking turns and all that, and the father accident and sirens and the other authorities. So sister, he goes out into the world, finds our Lord Jesus Christ, meets a priest who says, "You have a vocation, and we're sending you to a special place." And sister thinks he said vacation, and anyway likes it where they send him. He has his own room, and soon they call him Father Sister. And that's where the trouble started, they say. It had to do with a certain sermon, one that went south, they say, on the Immaculate Conception. But that part, that's a really confusing story.